What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bonham Tx. I'm Josh, and we appreciate you guys clicking on this video. Well, we are talking about grazing goats for your pastures and why it is beneficial and how it has helped us. To be honest with you, it's probably the reason why we first got into goats was to clean our property up and to make it better. We had horses prior to goats and cattle, and they just did not make the place like goats do. And goats have come in here and made this place really nice, cleaned it up, got rid of the weeds, and they graze this place. They make round after round, taking care of the property, and goats has been very beneficial for us. Well, in this pasture right here, these goats have not been in it for several months. Since the grass has started greening up, I shut this pasture off, and I want to just show you what they'll do. They'll come in here, they will graze this few acres, and they will take care of the new growth and the weeds that are in it. So you can see behind me over here on this tree right here, they're going to take this tree and they're going to trim it all the way down as high as they can reach, and they're going to clean this property up. The grass inside this pasture right here is probably a good foot or so higher than the next pasture, but this is a pasture that we use to graze on, and we pull them off and on. We rotational graze. So this pasture has been grazed on for several years now, and it has improved throughout the years, which, you know, this is what we want. We want this good growth. We want to bring these goats in here, let them come, make several rounds, and then they'll be able to clean this up, and we'll pull them off of it, rotate them onto another pasture. If you are not subscribed, go down, click the like button, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have over 230 videos, goat related, all about grazing, fencing, raising goats, performance goats, just a little bit about everything about goats that you can think of how we operate our farm. Would appreciate if you would go down, follow us, like, subscribe, share the videos. That'll help get it out to the YouTube community. We appreciate it. I always talk about fencing and how important it is when you're raising goats, and you got to have a good infrastructure. You got to have a good perimeter fence and able to do this. And what we like to use is a Stay Tough top fence, and it's made for goats. And then we use hot wire on a fence that's not made for goats. So I'm going to just show you those two real quick. And once you get those in place, like we have this right here, this pasture right here behind me, there's a pasture over here. We have several pastures throughout the property set up to graze goats. This cross fence right here is the Stay Tough fencing, and you can see the small sections and it'll get bigger as it goes up, but we prefer this type of fence right here. This type of fencing right here is a field fence, and it stays the same the whole way. The squares are the same size, but what we do is we run a hot wire on this, and that hot wire will keep the goats from getting into this fence and staying off of it. And the only type of spraying we do, we spray our fence rows, and you can see down through here is the spraying that we do to keep the goats away from the fence. We want them out grazing out here. So here is what the type of spraying that we'll do. And you can see how we've sprayed this whole fence. This is an old cross fence that's been here for years, and we was able to install hot wire and keep our goats off of it. Using goats to graze our pastures has made the soil better. The goat poop is got a lot of nitrogen in it, and it puts it back into the ground, and it makes the soil better, so that makes it better for the grass to grow. But goats have come in here and cleaned up all the underbrush, cleaned up all the weeds, and the weeds that pop back up, they'll take care of it. They'll knock that out real quick as they make rounds through this pasture, and our grasses are as good as they've ever been. This tree right here is a good example of how they'll clean up as high as they reach. And you can see from years past that they've come in here and they've trimmed this all the way down. And now the new growth, you can see these young goats in here, they are attacking that smaller growth, and the bigger goats will come in here and reach up as high as they can. They will come in here, and even like these vines right here, they will come in here and attack these vines, get them cleaned up and cleared up. Once the goats have come in here and cleaned this up, what I'll do is I'll come behind them, I'll take a chainsaw, and I will clean all this underbrush out. And around this tree, where grass wouldn't grow previously, will grow now. The grass is so thick in here that some of these goats, you can't even hardly see them. This right here is a field that they've been on for about 21 days to a month, and you can see that there's still grass out there to eat, and they have grazed this, but the field next to it, you'll see, is a lot thicker, and there's a lot more for them to graze over here. Well, I wanted to come over here to a corner of the property and show you a good example of what goats can do for you. Right next to me over here is a property that this place right here that I'm standing on looked just like it. And you're going to see just what goats have done over here on this place. So do you see how thick and overgrown this wall is? And then you can see where we have come in here with goats and have really cleaned up our place. If I could get goats inside that property right there, that right there, you would be able to see through it, and grass would start growing through there. Well, there's a good example for you on just what goats will do. And this little patch right here, this 7 acres right here, there's really not enough goats on it. but the grass is lush, it's thick, and it's really green behind us. And I want to show you over here on a neighboring property, and you can see the difference. So this side over here is ours, and then when you get over here to the neighbor side, you can see all the weeds that are out here. And it just looks totally different because we have had goats grazing our property. Over here, there's not a whole lot of weeds. The goats have cleaned it up, and this is a lot of good grazing, and I don't really have enough goats on this small property right here. I separate this. I've got the young bucks on here, and this gets overgrown, so what I'll do is I'll eventually pull them off and put the big group on here and let them graze this. So from what I thought was a crazy idea on going out and getting goats for our property has turned in to be a blessing for us, and it has really improved our property from the way it looks to the lush green grass that we have. The amount of goats that we have to graze it, we could use more, but we try to keep our numbers at a certain number, and we could always put more on it, and our place looks the best it's ever looked. You can tell that here by the thick green grass, and you can go over to my uncle's place and see the same results. Check a neighboring farm and just see how much better our grasses are. Now that took us a few years to establish that, getting our rotational grazing up, but it was worth it, and now we have a pristine place and it looks nice, and we have plenty of grass for the goats to graze. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of how we got into goats and what we're doing with our property now with goats, and I hope you liked it. Appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.